Discover the thrilling story of Maria, a kind-hearted woman who finds an abandoned baby in a trash can and decides to raise him as her own son. Years later, a mysterious billionaire shows up at her house, claiming to be the biological father of the child. Like and subscribe to the channel now, so you don't miss any exciting stories like this one. Follow the challenges, secrets, and decisions that will shape the fate of an unlikely family, where love and loyalty are tested to the limit. It was a cold and rainy night in a small town forgotten by time. The deserted streets were lit only by the flickering lights of the lampposts, casting dancing shadows on the wet asphalt. The wind howled through the alleys, carrying with it the smell of rain mixed with the pungent odor of garbage. Maria, a woman in her early 30s, hurried home after a long shift at the local hospital. Her feet ached, and her body cried out for rest, but her mind was alert. As a nurse, she was used to dealing with difficult situations, but nothing had prepared her for what she was about to encounter that night. As she crossed a narrow alley, she heard a faint, almost inaudible sound. She stopped for a moment, trying to identify where it was coming from. It was a cry, a fragile and desperate cry. She followed the sound to a trash can leaning against a damp brick wall. With each step, her heart raced, fearing the worst. With trembling hands, Maria opened the trash can lid and, to her horror, found a baby wrapped in dirty rags. The child was curled up, with pale skin and closed eyes, but still alive. The crying stopped for a moment as the streetlight illuminated the tiny face, revealing an expression of pure despair and innocence. Maria didn't hesitate. She picked the baby up, feeling the fragile warmth of the little body against hers. The baby opened its eyes for an instant, and a look of recognition and plea passed between them. It was as if the child knew it was now safe in Maria's arms. With a heavy heart, Maria looked around, searching for any sign of who might have left the baby there. There was no one, just the silence of the night and the rain that continued to fall. She knew she couldn't simply leave the baby there. Her mind was flooded with questions, but one thing was certain: she needed to act quickly. Back at the hospital, Maria managed to gather some basic supplies to care for the baby. The medical staff looked at her with surprise and concern, but she didn't waste time explaining. Cleaning and warming the child was her priority. In the following days, Maria did everything she could to ensure the baby was healthy and safe. She decided to name the baby Lucas, a name she had always wanted to give a son. As days turned into weeks, Maria felt a deep bond growing between them. Lucas, with his big curious eyes and radiant smiles, brought a new light into Maria's life. She knew the journey ahead would be difficult, but she was determined to be the mother Lucas deserved. The challenges began immediately. Maria had to face the bureaucracy and skepticism of the authorities to formalize Lucas's adoption. Every visit to the adoption office was a battle, with questions about her ability to raise a child alone, especially a child found in such unusual circumstances. But Maria, with her unwavering determination and love, overcame every obstacle. In the village, the news of the baby found in a trash can spread quickly. Some residents looked with suspicion, others with pity, but few understood what it really meant for Maria and Lucas. Despite the looks and comments, Maria kept her head high, focusing only on the well-being of her son. As Lucas grew, Maria told him stories about the world, always instilling hope and courage. She wanted him to know that no matter how he came into the world, he was loved and wanted. Nights were filled with laughter and tales of adventures, and days with the simple but love-filled routine Maria had created for them. Maria couldn't help but wonder about Lucas's biological parents. Who were they? Why had they abandoned such a precious baby? These questions tormented her, but she knew that, for now, her duty was to provide Lucas with a happy and secure childhood. Financial difficulties were constant, but Maria found ways to make it all work. She took extra shifts at the hospital and did small jobs to supplement her income. Every penny saved was invested in Lucas's future. She wanted to ensure he had every opportunity to thrive. Despite the adversities, there were moments of pure joy that made it all worthwhile. The first time Lucas called Maria Mommy, the first time he took his first steps, and every little milestone they celebrated together were memories Maria cherished. She knew that the love they shared was stronger than any obstacle they might face. Maria never gave up seeking answers about Lucas's past. Over time, she collected small clues and fragments of information, but nothing that led to a clear conclusion. However, she was determined to one day discover the truth, not just for herself, but for Lucas. Fate, however, has a peculiar way of revealing its secrets. Years later, when Lucas was about to become a young adult, the past that Maria had longed to understand would begin to unfold in ways she could never have imagined. But for now, Maria and Lucas lived one day at a time, building a future based on love, courage, and hope. Each step of this journey only strengthened the bond between them, preparing them for the challenges and revelations that were yet to come. And so, under Maria's watchful and loving gaze, Lucas grew, ready to face the world and discover the hidden truths of his past. As the days passed, the relationship between Maria and the baby she had decided to call Lucas grew stronger and unbreakable. Maria knew that the first step in ensuring a secure and loving future for Lucas would be to formalize his adoption. However, this decision would not be without challenges. Maria approached the adoption office with the determination of a lioness defending her cub. The legal process was complex and lengthy, and she had to face numerous bureaucratic barriers. Every visit to the office was marked by incisive questions about her abilities as a single mother and her motivation to adopt a child found in a trash can. Some staff members were skeptical, others sympathetic, but all demanded answers and proof that Maria could provide a stable home for Lucas. With each obstacle, Maria grew stronger. She gathered documents, sought references, and even hired a lawyer to help in her fight. She spent sleepless nights, worried about Lucas's future, but always rose with renewed energy, determined to overcome each challenge. The support of close friends and hospital colleagues was crucial. They saw the unconditional love Maria dedicated to Lucas and offered moral and practical support whenever possible. After months of struggle, tears, and persistence, Maria finally gained legal custody of Lucas. The moment she signed the adoption papers was one of the most emotional of her life. Holding Lucas in her arms, she felt a wave of indescribable relief and happiness. Now, officially, Lucas was her son, and she promised herself that she would do everything to ensure he had a full and happy life. Lucas grew up in an environment filled with love and care. From the early days, Maria made sure he received the best possible education, both formal and emotional. She taught him fundamental values such as respect, honesty, and compassion. The nights were filled with stories, laughter, and lullabies, and the days with park adventures, reading sessions, and educational games. Maria wanted Lucas to have a happy and enriching childhood and devoted herself completely to that goal. She worked hard at the hospital to ensure that he lacked nothing. Despite financial difficulties, she always found a way to provide Lucas with what he needed, from clothes and toys to a good education. Savings were scarce, but love and care were abundant. However, the local community was not always understanding. Some neighbors looked with suspicion at Maria and Lucas's unusual situation. Rumors and malicious comments were frequent, questioning Maria's ability as a single mother and Lucas's origins. In a small village where everyone knew each other, gossip spread quickly. Maria learned to ignore the looks and whispers. She focused on Lucas's well-being and the love they shared. She knew that despite the difficulties, she was doing the right thing. And Lucas, with his bright smile and insatiable curiosity, was living proof that all the effort was worth it. The challenges of balancing hospital work and raising Lucas were constant. Maria often worked night shifts to spend the days with him. There were moments of absolute exhaustion, but there were also moments of pure joy and satisfaction. Every milestone Lucas reached, every new word learned, every step taken, were celebrations that renewed Maria's strength. Lucas, in turn, grew up as a happy and healthy child. He loved hearing the stories Maria told about heroes and adventures, often inspired by her own life journey. Maria always encouraged Lucas's imagination and creativity, nurturing his dreams and hoping for a bright future for him. Frequent visits to the local park were a welcome escape from reality. There, Maria and Lucas spent hours playing and exploring nature. Lucas loved the swings and slides, and Maria felt deep satisfaction seeing him so happy. These moments were precious and provided a much-needed break from daily pressures. Despite the challenges, Maria never lost faith. She knew she was building a better future for Lucas, a future where he could be anything he wanted to be. And with each smile and each hug, Lucas reciprocated Maria's love and dedication, further strengthening the bond between them. As the years passed, the relationship between Maria and Lucas deepened. He grew up knowing he was loved and valued, and Maria was proud of the young man he was becoming. The initial struggle to adopt him and the subsequent challenges were just distant memories, overcome by the strength of the love they shared. Maria never stopped looking for clues about Lucas's past, but this quest never overshadowed the present they lived. Each day was a new opportunity to strengthen their bond and build happy memories. And although the future held surprises and challenges, Maria and Lucas knew that together they could face anything. Time passed quickly. Lucas grew up to be a curious and intelligent young man. From an early age, Maria had been honest with him about his adoption, but there were details she chose not to reveal to protect him. However, as Lucas approached adolescence, he began asking more incisive questions about his past and origins. One evening, after another ordinary school day, Lucas approached Maria with a serious look on his face. They sat at the kitchen table, a place where many important conversations had taken place. Maria could feel that Lucas was ready to know more about his life's story. "Mom, I've always known I'm adopted, and I'm very grateful for everything you've done for me." Lucas began with a maturity that surprised Maria. "But I feel there are more things I need to know. How did you find me? What happened to my biological family?" Maria took a deep breath, knowing this moment would come one day. Carefully, she began to recount the story of the fateful day she found Lucas abandoned, not omitting many details but also not revealing the most painful parts. She described the trash can, the rain, the desperate feeling of finding such a small and helpless baby. She told him about her struggle to adopt him and the challenges she faced to become his mother. Lucas listened intently, absorbing every word. The story was emotional and shocking, but at the same time, he felt a growing need to know more. Although grateful for everything Maria had done for him, the curiosity about his biological origins now burned stronger than ever. In the following days, Lucas began researching on his own. He used the internet to search for information about missing children from the time he was found, hoping to find some clue about his biological family. He spent hours in libraries, browsing old newspapers and archives, trying to piece together the puzzle of his past. One day, Lucas found an intriguing lead. In an old local newspaper, there was a small note about a wealthy family who had lost a baby around the same time he was found. The family, the Marconis, was known for their immense fortune and influence in the region. Lucas felt a chill realizing that this lead might lead him to the answers he had been seeking. Determined, Lucas continued his investigation. He discovered that the Marconis had suffered a tragedy years ago when their baby was kidnapped and never found. The dates perfectly matched the time when Maria found him. This discovery left Lucas in shock and full of questions. Could he be the lost child of the Marconi family? Lucas knew he needed to tell Maria about his discoveries. He sat with her again, this time with the old newspaper in hand. "Mom, I found something," Lucas said, his voice trembling. "I believe I might be the lost child of a wealthy family, the Marconis. The dates match, and everything makes sense. I need to know the truth." Maria was silent for a moment, processing the information. She always knew that Lucas might one day want to know more about his origins, but the possibility of him belonging to such a distinguished family had never crossed her mind. "Lucas, I always wanted to protect you and give you the best," Maria began, her eyes filled with tears. "I never imagined your search would lead us to something like this. If this is what you need to do, then we will find out the truth together." Determined to seek answers, Maria and Lucas began to investigate more deeply. Maria contacted a lawyer who had helped her during the adoption process, while Lucas looked for ways to contact the Marconis without causing a stir. The search for the truth brought them even closer, strengthening the already deep bond between mother and son. Maria and Lucas decided it was time to confront the mystery head-on. They contacted the Marconi family discreetly, sharing their discoveries and expressing the desire to conduct a DNA test to confirm their suspicions. The Marconi family, after years of pain and uncertainty, was initially skeptical but eventually agreed to participate in the test. The following days were filled with pure anxiety. Maria and Lucas waited for the DNA test results with heavy hearts. Maria feared what this revelation might mean for their future, but was determined to support Lucas in his quest for the truth. Finally, the day of the results arrived. The tension was palpable as they opened the envelope together. The test confirmed that Lucas was, indeed, the lost son of the Marconi family. Emotions overwhelmed them, blending with the uncertainty of what lay ahead. The news shook the Marconi family. For them, it was a miracle to find their lost son, but also a shock to discover that he had been raised by another woman. Maria, on the other hand, felt a mix of joy and sadness. She knew she had raised Lucas with love and dedication, but also understood that he had the right to know his biological family. In the days that followed, Maria and Lucas's lives changed drastically. The Marconi family wanted to get to know Lucas and integrate him into their lives. They met on several occasions, trying to adjust to the new dynamic. Lucas was torn between the unconditional love he felt for Maria and the natural curiosity about his biological family. Maria, always the devoted mother, supported Lucas in all his decisions. She knew he needed time to adapt to this new reality and was willing to be by his side, no matter what happened. She and Lucas had long conversations about the future, trying to find a balance between the past and the present. As Lucas explored his biological roots, Maria continued to be his safe harbor. She understood that, despite everything, the bond they shared was unbreakable. And so, amid uncertainties and new discoveries, Maria and Lucas navigated this new phase of their lives together, ready to face any challenges the future might hold. The revelation of Lucas's true identity as the Marconi's lost son was a shock to everyone involved. The DNA test results brought a whirlwind of emotions, blending joy, relief, and deep uncertainty about the future. The Marconi family, although initially skeptical, was elated by the possibility of reuniting with their long-lost son. However, this joy was tempered by the complexity of the situation. One afternoon, a few days after the DNA confirmation, Maria and Lucas were at home, still processing the avalanche of information. The phone rang, interrupting the contemplative silence. It was one of the Marconi family members, inviting them to a formal meeting at the family mansion. Lucas accepted the invitation, feeling a mix of anxiety and excitement. Maria, always by her son's side, agreed to accompany him. Arriving at the Marconi mansion was surreal. The imposing iron gate opened, revealing a long, tree-lined driveway leading to the luxurious residence. Maria and Lucas exchanged glances, both nervous and uncertain about what to expect. When they finally reached the main entrance, they were greeted by members of the Marconi family, who led them to an elegantly decorated living room. The Marconi family gathered around Lucas, eager to meet him. Tears filled the eyes of Lucas's biological mother, Helena, and his biological father, Victor. The emotions were palpable. Lucas felt a tightness in his chest as he realized the depth of the suffering this family had endured. "Lucas," Helena began, her voice trembling, "we have no words to express how happy and relieved we are to finally find you. We have thought about you every day since you disappeared. We want you to know that we never gave up searching for you." Victor, who had always remained strong for the family, could no longer hide his tears. "It's a miracle to have you back, son. We have so much to talk about, so much to catch up on." Lucas felt a mixture of emotions. On one hand, he was thrilled at the possibility of reconnecting with his biological family. On the other hand, he couldn't help but feel a deep loyalty and love for Maria, the woman who had raised him with so much sacrifice and dedication. I am also happy to have found you," Lucas said, his voice full of emotion, "but I need time to process all of this. I can't just forget my life with Maria." Helena nodded, understanding the complexity of the situation. "Of course, Lucas. We understand. We just want you to know that our home is open to you, whenever you want. We don't want to replace you, Maria," Helena said, turning to Maria. "You are a fundamental part of Lucas's life, and we are eternally grateful for everything you have done for him." Maria, with tears in her eyes, responded in a firm voice. "Lucas is my son, but I know he also has the right to know his biological family. We will find a way to make this work." The following days were intense. Lucas began spending more time with the Marconi family, learning about their history, meeting relatives, and understanding the nuances of his new reality. The Marconi family, in turn, was sensitive to the fact that Lucas needed space and time to adapt. Meanwhile, Maria continued to support Lucas every step of the way. She knew the transition would be difficult, but was determined not to let her son face everything alone. The nights were often filled with long, emotional conversations between Maria and Lucas, where they discussed their fears, hopes, and the challenges they faced. One day, while Lucas was at the Marconi mansion, Maria received an unexpected visit. It was Helena, who, although grateful for finally finding her son, wanted to have a private conversation with Maria. "Maria, I wanted to thank you personally for everything you've done for Lucas. I know he is who he is today because of you," Helena said, holding Maria's hands firmly. "I want you to know that you will always have a place in our lives, and that your presence is important to Lucas." Maria smiled, feeling immense relief. "Thank you, Helena. Lucas is a wonderful boy, and all I want is for him to be happy, no matter where he is." The two women, united by their love for Lucas, began to form a bond of respect and understanding. Both knew that, despite the difficult circumstances, they shared a common goal: Lucas's well-being. As Lucas explored his biological roots, Maria continued to be his safe harbor. She understood that, despite everything, the bond they shared was unbreakable. And so, amid uncertainties and new discoveries, Maria and Lucas navigated this new phase of their lives together, ready to face any challenges the future might hold. Over the months, Lucas learned to balance his new relationship with the Marconi family and the life he had always known with Maria. He regularly visited the Marconi mansion, learning about the family's history and customs, but always returned home, where he found comfort and familiarity with Maria. The dynamic between Maria and the Marconi family became more harmonious. Maria, now frequently invited to family events, began to feel like part of Lucas's extended family. The Marconi family, recognizing Maria's importance in Lucas's life, treated her with great respect and affection. The bond between Lucas and his biological family strengthened, but he never forgot the roots Maria had given him. And so, life went on, with new challenges and achievements, as everyone worked together to build a future where love, understanding, and unity prevailed over all adversities. The months following the reunion with the Marconi family were filled with conflicting emotions for Lucas. He lived between two completely different worlds: the simple and warm life he had known with Maria, and the luxury and opulence that the Marconi family offered. Each of these worlds brought its own challenges and rewards, and Lucas felt torn between them. Maria remained a constant and loving presence in Lucas's life, supporting him in all his decisions. She knew he needed time to adjust to the new reality and was willing to give him all the space he needed. The Marconi mansion, with its vast grounds and opulent rooms, represented a lifestyle Lucas had never imagined. Despite the material comfort, he could not ignore the fact that his true happiness was tied to the memories and love Maria had provided. As Lucas navigated these emotional waters, the need to fully understand his past began to emerge. He wanted to know why he had been abandoned in the dumpster, a question that had always lingered over him, even after finding his biological family. One day, determined to face this truth, Lucas asked his biological parents, Helena and Victor, to tell him everything they knew about his kidnapping and what led to his abandonment. Helena and Victor, though reluctant, agreed to share the painful story. "Lucas," Helena began, her voice heavy with sadness, "the truth is that you were kidnapped when you were just a baby. It was one of the most terrible moments of our lives. We received a ransom demand, but despite doing everything we were asked, you were never returned to us." Victor continued the narrative, his deep voice reflecting the pain of the past. "For years, we searched for you, hired detectives, and followed every possible lead, but nothing led us to you. Until one day, we received an anonymous call saying you were in danger. We went to the indicated location, but it was too late. You had been left in a dumpster, and someone had already found you." Helena, with tears in her eyes, explained the rest of the story. The kidnapping was orchestrated by an old enemy of our family, someone who wanted to destroy us. He wanted to punish us for the success and wealth we had accumulated. His plan was to make us suffer in the worst possible way by taking our child from us. Lucas listened intently, absorbing every detail. The revelation was painful, but also brought a sense of clarity. He finally understood the context of his abandonment and the suffering his biological family had endured. Despite the harsh truth, Lucas knew he needed to make a choice about his future. He loved the Marconi family and felt a biological and historical connection to them. However, the love and care Maria had provided throughout his life were unparalleled. She had been his mother in every way that mattered, and he could not simply forget that. The Marconi family, perceiving Lucas's internal struggle, decided to ease his decision. "Lucas," Victor said with calm resolve, "we will always be here for you, no matter what you choose. You are our son, and nothing will change that. We want you to be happy, and we understand that this might mean staying with Maria." Helena nodded, supporting her husband's words. "Lucas, you have two families who love you. No matter where you choose to live, we will always be a part of your life." Lucas spent days reflecting on his decision. He knew that, regardless of his choice, there would be challenges to face. Opting to stay with the Marconi family would mean adjusting to a world of wealth and responsibility, while staying with Maria represented continuing the simple and loving life he had always known. Finally, Lucas made his decision. He gathered everyone in a room, feeling the tension and anticipation in the air. With a heavy heart but a clear mind, he addressed both sides of his family. "I've thought a lot about this," Lucas began, his voice firm yet emotional. "I love all of you, and I'm grateful for everything you've done for me. The Marconi family is my biological family, and I will always have a place in my heart for you. But Maria is the person who raised me, who gave me love and a life when I had nothing. I can't abandon that." The Marconi family listened with tears in their eyes, respecting Lucas's decision. Helena approached and hugged him tightly. "We are proud of you, Lucas. You will always be our son, no matter where you are." Maria, with tears of joy, held Lucas tightly. "Lucas, you will always be my son, and I will always be here for you. Thank you for choosing me." Lucas's decision did not mean cutting ties with the Marconi family. He promised to maintain regular contact and visit frequently. And so, with mutual understanding and unwavering love, Lucas found a way to balance both parts of his life, honoring both his past and his present. Life continued for Lucas, Maria, and the Marconi family, now intertwined in a unique and meaningful way. Lucas's choice brought peace to everyone involved, and he moved forward with the certainty that, regardless of the challenges the future might bring, he had the love and support of two extraordinary families.